Yes, good morning, students. Today we are starting our chapter number 9, composition and structure of the atmosphere. Right? So, first of all, what is the composition and the structure of the atmosphere? We have to know what is atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Actually, the vast expanse of air which involves the earth all round is called the atmosphere. Means atmosphere is found at the outer surface of our earth. It is like an envelope which surround the earth. The air of the atmosphere has become an integral part of the earth. Why? It is due to the gravitational force. The atmosphere lies with the earth's surface. Now the question arises, what is the importance of atmosphere? Why we are going to read about the atmosphere? No doubt, air is essential for the all living organisms, whether they are plant, whether they are animals or human beings. For the survival of all organisms, air is much essential. Wait for a minute. So some organisms like humans may survive for some time without food. We can survive for some time or few days without food, for some time without water, but we cannot survive without air even for few seconds. And you already see this situation in this pandemic, right? Because there is a some people face the oxygen shortage and they are tend to die because of the shortage of oxygen, right? So it means the air is very essential for our survival. We can live without food or water for few days, but we can't live without air, without breathing even for few seconds. That shows the reason why we should understand the atmosphere, right? So if the atmosphere is so important for us, so we must know about all about the atmosphere, how it is composed and what is the structure of the atmosphere, which type of material is found in our atmosphere, which is which is essential for our survival, right? So the air is an integral part of the earth's mass, and 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere is confined to the height of 32 kilometer for the earth's surface, from the earth's surface. So maximum gases, maximum elements which are essential for the human survival, for the living organisms, that are found at the height of 32 kilometer, right? So they are confined to the height of 32 kilometer. Now, what is the definition of the earth? Now we are going to with the definition of atmosphere. Sorry, atmosphere is a mixture of different gases. It involves the earth all round. It contains life-giving gases like oxygen for and animals and uh, humans and animals, and carbon dioxide for plants. So it contains many gases which are essential for us. For example, oxygen is a very essential gas for the human beings and for the animals. And similarly, CO2 is very important gas for the plant survival. Now, what is the average height of the atmosphere? As it is confined, 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere confined to the 32 kilometer height of the Earth's surface. The main characteristic is of air is it is colorless, it is odorless, means the air have no color, no smell, and it can be felt only when it blows as wind. When we cannot see the air, because it is colorless. We cannot feel it with its smelling, right? So how we can identify that there is an air? We can identify the air, we can see the air when it is in its dynamic form, that is called wind. When the air blows, that could be seen or feel by us. Now, can you imagine what will happen to us in the absence of ozone in the atmosphere? If there will be no ozone life, the ozone life is not possible on the Earth's surface. If there is no ozone layer, the life is not possible on the Earth's surface because it protects us from the harmful UV rays. We will discuss it further. Now, concentrate on the composition of the atmosphere. Composition means how, by which elements our earth is composed of, which type of elements are found in the atmosphere, right? So that is the composition. So students, don't be confused between composition and structure. Structure is like a outer part, right? So composition, what elements is found in that structure, clear? So composition, come to the first composition. The atmosphere is composed of gases, water vapor, and dust particles, right? Till now, you know that the atmosphere is composed of gases, but along with the gases, there are some water vapors also, some dust particles also, and they have great importance for us, right? So the proportion of the gases changes in the higher layers of the atmosphere in such a way that oxygen will be almost is in negligible quantity at the height of 120 kilometer, right? So first of all, as I told you in the second chapter, the formation of our earth, what we saw that the gases settle down according to their density. More denser gas found in the low layer, and as we go higher, the less dense gases were found. And at the top, the most less dense gases like hydrogen and helium are found. So most of the gases confined to the 32 kilometer height of the atmosphere. Now come to the first, which type of gases found in our atmosphere and what is the percentage of these gases. Some of most important gases we will concentrate on in this chapter. The first is nitrogen, right? So nitrogen, its percentage by volume is 78.08%, right? So it is constitutes the largest portion of the atmosphere, right? So secondly, the atmospheric pressure, force of winds, reflection of light, all these are largely due to the presence of nitrogen. This gas has no color, no odor, no taste, right? But it does not easily enter into chemical union. Nitrogen, we cannot inhale nitrogen as it's in gaseous form. If the plants are getting the nitrogen from the soil, if they can get it by the fixation of nitrogen. When it fixed into the soil, then only then plants can inhale it. Nitrogen, the next important characteristic of nitrogen is it regulates combustion and avoid quick burning, right? So as oxygen helps in burning, nitrogen avoids quick burning, right? So it helps in burning, and due to the nitrogen, it generates protein for the plants, which is a main source of food of the plants. It confined to the 128-kilometer height, right? Second gas is the oxygen gas. You are very much familiar with the importance of oxygen gas, which found in our atmosphere in the proportion of 20.95%, right? So oxygen gas, although it extends to 64 kilometer, but maximum concentration of oxygen confined to the 16-kilometer height. And if we are talking about the importance of oxygen, firstly, most important, that is called life giver gas, because in the absence of oxygen we cannot breathe, we cannot survive. The second most importance of the oxygen gas is it helps in the combustion. Fire is possible due to the presence of oxygen, right? So it is a great source of energy, right? So it is negligible at the height of 120 kilometer, right? When we are going from 64 to 120 kilometer, the quantity of oxygen gas tends to reduce, and at the height of 120 kilometer, it is almost negligible. Now come to the third one, the most important, carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide, CO2, the proportion of this gas in the atmosphere is 0.036. You will be asked that it has a small proportion still, but still it has a great importance. Mainly, it is confined into lower layers only because it is a very dense. 30 kilometer it can be found. Clear? So 0. With the percentage of 0.03%, it is very important gas for the plants, because in the when the plants prepare their food, they inhale CO2, right? Secondly, it is important meteorologically also, because it is transparent and it allows the solar radiation to income at the surface of the earth. But it is opaque, means incoming solar radiation. Solar radiation can reach on the earth by the CO2, but terrestrial radiation, when the radiation goes into the space from the earth's surface, it restricts it. That's why, because it allows incoming solar radiation but restrict the outgoing radiation. That's why if the concentration of CO2 increases, the temperature will be higher, right? Because it restricts the outgoing outgoing terrestrial radiation. So it keeps the air warmer near the ground. Okay, so it is majorly responsible for greenhouse effect of the atmosphere. If the quantity of CO2 will increase in the atmosphere, it will increase the temperature, and that would lead to the many problem, like our life is also will not be possible at the Earth's surface. The third gas is hydrogen gas. Hydrogen is found in 0.005%, and it is very light gas and extend to only 1100 kilometer. Right, so it extends to 1100 kilometer, and that is very heavier gas, which found, sorry, it is very lighter gas which found over the heavier gases, right? The next is important is ozone. Ozone is a form of oxygen gas, and this is a very special variety of its. It is found in very small quantity in the upper atmosphere. But what is its important? It prevents us from the UV rays of sun. It absorb the UV rays of the sun and could not allow them to reach at the surface, right? So its concentration is confined to 20 to 25 kilometer. So this is about the gases which are found in the atmosphere, correct? Now, which gas constitute the highest percentage of atmosphere? That is nitrogen. And which gas which constitute least proportion? That is neon. Now come to the water vapor. The next element which found in the earth atmosphere, that is water vapor. Water vapor is also variable gas in the atmosphere. In the warm and wet tropics, it may account for 4% of air by volume, while in the dry and cold deserted and polar regions, it is less than 1%. So its concentration in the atmosphere is from 1 to 4%. 1% in the dry and cold areas and 4% in the warm and wet areas, right? So in the concentration of water vapor is also differ from region to region, right? So the amount of water vapor decreases with altitudes. When we go to the higher to the height, the amount of water vapor decreases. What is the importance of water vapor? It is estimated that half the water vapor in the air lies below an altitude of 2000 meter. Right? So maximum concentration of water vapor lies to the height of 2000 meter. It also decreases from the equator towards the pole because the dry and cold areas have less water vapor than the wet areas, correct? So what is the importance? Moreover, it absorbs parts of the insulation from the sun. So that's why our earth is not too hot, because the presence of water vapor, it absorbs the sun's heat and reduces its amount reaching the earth's surface, right? So it also preserves the earth's radiated heat. Means when the solar radiation comes, suppose there are water vapors, solar radiations are coming, they will absorbed by the water vapors. But that's why the temperature of earth's surface does not got so higher. And when the terrestrial radiation comes, what would happen? The water vapor does not allow them into the space. That's why our earth is not too cold. Temperature is not so decreased. So it acts like a blanket and allowing the earth neither to cold and neither to hot. The next element is dust particle. Dust particles are generally concentrated in the lower layers of the atmosphere, and it can be generated by the many of the sources, like from the industries, from the dust, and many pollutes we can see in the form of dust particles like sea salts, fine soil, smoke soot, ash, pollen, dust, and integrated particles of meteors also, right? So although dust particles are mostly concentrated in the lower layer, yet convectional air currents carry them to great height, right? So convectional air currents can transport them to greater heights. So the higher concentration of dust particles is found in subtropical and temperate region due to the dry winds in comparison to equatorial and polar region. What is the importance of dust particles for our atmosphere? The most importance of dust particles is they act as a hygroscopic nuclei. You read about the water cycle. The water evaporate from the water bodies and then it condense. Where it will be condensed? It condensed along with the dust particles, right? So if there is no dust particle, the condensation will not took place, the precipitation will not took place. So they act as hydroscopic nuclei which provide the base of condensation to the water vapor, and that make the precipitation possible. Oftenly you saw the different color of the sky at the time of sunrise and sunset, right? It is largely due to the dust particles. When the sunlight passes through the dust particles, it reflects a different type of color. So red and orange color of the sky at the sunset and the sunrise is largely due to the presence of dust particle, which is known as sunrise is known as dawn, while the sunset is known as dusk, right? So sunrise is known as dawn, and the sunset time, that phenomena is known as dusk, right? So it is only due to the presence of dust particle. Clear? Besides dense haze and smoke and smoke means when smoke is mixed with fog, they are also caused due to the presence of dust particles, right? So sky looks blue, yet that is also due to the presence of dust particles. Now come to the structure of the atmosphere. Right, so the atmosphere consists of different layers with varying density and temperature. When we go to one to another layer, there is a different gases are there, their density is different, their temperature is different. Density is highest near the surface of the earth and decreases with increasing altitude. The column of atmosphere is divided into 5 different layers depending upon the temperature condition. Now, what are these layers? Name these layers. First is troposphere, second is stratosphere, mesosphere, fourth is thermosphere, and fifth is exosphere. Right? So, first 3 layers, these 3 layers combine and combinedly called homosphere. Right? And the rest of the layers are called heterosphere. The 2 layers, the thermosphere and exosphere, that are called heterosphere. Correct. So come to the first one, the troposphere. Now we are talking about the structure of the earth. So here you can see, suppose this is like this. So the troposphere is the lowermost layer of the atmosphere, but it with its height varies. It is 10 kilometer at the pole and 18 kilometer at the equator. Correct? So near the poles, it is maximum 10 kilometer, and at the equator, its height is 18 kilometer. Correct? So average height of this layer is 16 kilometer. The troposphere is very important layer for the Earth's surface because the dust particles and water vapors, they also found in this layer. So we talked about the importance of dust particles and water vapor which are found in the troposphere. All the weather and climatic changes took place in this layer. Clear? So the temperature in this layer decreases when we go at the height. As we go at the altitude, the temperature decreases, and the rate of decrease in the temperature is 1 degree Celsius for every 165 meter height. If we go to the 165 meter, then the temperature will decrease with the 1 degree Celsius. That is known as normal lapse rate, right? So here we will use the word pause. Pause, right? So pause is the word which we use to which we use for the zone which separate two layers, right? So suppose there is tropopause, and there is the another layer stratopause. Okay, troposphere and stratosphere. So the zone which will separate these two layers, that is known as pause. Suppose troposphere is separated from stratosphere, that will known as tropopause, right? So so on stratosphere. After that stratosphere there is mesosphere. So the zone which separates stratosphere from the mesosphere, that will be known as stratopause, right? So pause word is generally used to separate the two layers of the atmosphere. The next layer is stratosphere. After the troposphere, there is another gas that is, another layer, that is stratosphere. There is troposphere, then is stratosphere. It confined to the 50 kilometer height. From the 18 kilometer to 50 kilometer, the zone is known as stratosphere. What is the importance of this layer? This layer contains ozone layer, which we talked about, that is very important for the survival of our life, because it protects us from the UV rays, right? So that layer is found in the stratosphere. Tropopause, which separates stratosphere from the troposphere, that is also have some importance, because this pause consists 1.5 kilometer thickness only. Temperature stops falling and convection currents case to function at this height. Temperature in the troposphere, the it helps to aircrafts to fly, right? So it is very important. The third is mesosphere. Above the stratosphere there is a third layer, that is called mesosphere. So first is troposphere, second is stratosphere, and the third is mesosphere. What is the importance of this gas? It firstly, it confined to the 80 kilometer height. It is found from 50 to 80 kilometer. That zone is known as mesosphere, and it lies above the stratosphere. The upper limit of the mesosphere is known as the mesopause, which separate mesosphere from the ionosphere. In this layer, once again, temperature starts decreasing, correct? And the altitude increase with the altitude and reached up to minus the 100 degrees Celsius at its topper limit, that is 80 kilometer, correct? So this is a mesosphere. What is the importance of this layer? Mesosphere displays high wispy cloud in high latitudes during summer due to reflected sunlight from meteoric dust particles. Right? So all the meteors destroyed in this layer and couldn't reach at the Earth's surface. The next layer is ionosphere. Above the mesosphere, there is ionosphere, right? So mesosphere upper limit is 80, and after that there is ionosphere, and it extends to 400 kilometer, right? The zone which separate mesosphere from ionosphere, that is known as mesopause, right? It contains, what is the importance of ionosphere? Basically, it contains electrically charged particles, right, which are known as ions, and that's why we call this layer is ionosphere. What is the importance of these ions? Radio waves can be transmitted from the earth, are reflected back by these electrically charged particles, and the transmission of any telecast of anything can be possible just due to the presence of ions in the ionosphere. Temperature again start increasing with height, and the uppermost layer of the atmosphere above reaches up to minus 100. Basically, it is minus 1000 degrees Celsius. Correct. The last is exosphere, the last layer of the atmosphere. So here is your troposphere, next is stratosphere, next is mesosphere, the last one is exosphere, right? So the outermost layer of the earth is known as exosphere, and the highest layer, but very little is known about it. Whatever contents are there, these are extremely reflected in this layer, and it gradually merges with the outer space. Mostly the lighter weight gases like nitrogen and hydrogen, sorry, hydrogen and helium. These two gases, lighter weight gases, are found in this layer. So now, what are the elements of weather and climate? Weather and climate have the same elements which subjects to change and which influence human life on the earth, that are temperature, pressure, winds, humidity, clouds, and precipitation. In the further chapters, we will focus on these elements one by one. What is temperature, what is pressure, what is wind and humidity and cloud and precipitation, how it occurs, what are the factors behind it, all that. Now we have completed the chapter number 9. If you have any doubt, you can ask now, students.